All right, at this point, we've got our initial bevels ground in. We're gonna go ahead and change from a 60 grit ceramic belt to a 120 belt. And the belt, this 120 ceramic, you can see how it looks with little chunks of ceramic glued in. This is called a gator belt, and they stay cool to different grits. 120, and that's our next grit that I go to. After the 120, we'll go to a 220 gator, and then after the 220, we'll go to a 400. I'll get back with you. So after I get done with the 220 grit, I put the 400 on, and I take the jig off of the blade, and then do the finishing touches with the 400 belt. So we'll do that now. Another thing I'd like to point out, when I do go down to the 400 for the finishing touches, I like to turn my belt speed down to about 20 on my machine. We're ready to dip our blade now. We've been grinding on it. We've got an edge on it. We've got the bevels ground in. You can see how nice and shiny it is. And we can't see the grain in it. This is actually 426 layer Damascus. I cut this pattern out of this piece specifically that I bought from Alabama Damascus. Owner is Brad Weiss, and Brad actually made this piece himself. And I've never forged any Damascus myself. I have forged a knife in a forge, and I've got a couple of little forges, but this is purely stock removal. Lay the pattern down, cut it out with a grinder, and then hand grind, as you saw on the video earlier. So when we dip this, I usually let it sit for about 30 minutes in paratoroic acid with a mixture of white vinegar. So we're going to dip it now. Takes about 30 minutes, but when you dip it in there, you can really already see the grain popping out on the blade. As soon as you dip the blade down in there, I'll bring it back over and try to keep it from shaking. See if you can see. You can already see the grain starting to pop out. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if you can see it good or not, but you'll see the finished product here in a little while. We still got a long ways to go on our knife, and the handles material is drying on the liners. And so when we get a little further, I'm gonna go get some lunch and come back and talk to you in a little bit.